So at 6:31, let's open the planning board meeting. Roll call vote. So Julie,
Julie Byers here.
Carol,
Carol Hoffs is present.
and we have Lance McNally. Did I miss anyone? All right. With that, let me move on. I don't have any additions or deletions to the menu. Unless Beth starts jumping up and down and I forgot something. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at the minutes of October the 18th? And if so, are there any comments?
I don't have any comments.
No comments.
All right, then I have no comments. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of October the 18th, 2021?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 18th, 2021.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right. Hi, Carol, how do you vote?
Yes.
Julie, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Lance votes yes. All right, so let me just jump down to 3.3, review of the residential district bylaw draft amendment, raising and keeping fowl in residential districts. Let me just bring that up. So first question, Beth, did Adam look at this?
What are you looking at? I'm sorry, you're looking at the
I'm looking at the 3.2, the proposed wording for the waterfall. Does everyone see it? I'm sharing it.
Yes.
okay, the answer is no. For town council review. At the last meeting, you wanted to continue research.
All right, does anyone have any comments on it?
Lance, can you make it a little bigger?
I can try, Julie.
Okay, I'm really blind here.
Right.
Aha. Okay. Ooh.
Is that
So
better?
yeah, I can see it now. So my only comment was the first sentence says the raising or keeping of a small flock of fowl not to exceed 20, comma, excluding roosters.
Yes.
That comma makes it sound like you can have a flock of 20 and we're not counting roosters in that number for 20. I think it's wrong grammatically.
Well, I guess I agree with you, Julie, and I guess I have an issue of why does it have the rooster exclusion?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the rooster exclusion either. I just wanted to mention that in case anyone was in favor.
Chaz, do you have any comments on this?
I don't.
Okay.
I guess I'm reading it as you can keep up to 20 fowl, but you can't have a rooster.
Yeah.
And I know up above it says it's supposed to be commercial venture and it's 2 to 5 acres. I live in Timberley Park. You're talking half-acre lots.
Yeah.
We have roosters, and some people have roosters and chickens on their half-acre lots. And luckily I live in the newest section, so we have larger lots where I live, but I do walk in the older section. And I can tell you that those roosters, if I lived next door to that person that had a rooster, I'd go insane because they're so loud and they're constant. So to me, you shouldn't have a rooster on a half-acre lot, but
Yeah, I agree with that.
and probably not 20 chickens on a half-acre lot, but the roosts, I mean, I can hear the roosters and I'm far away from them, but because I'm so far away, the rooster noise is kind of muffled because I have a lot of trees. But when I do walk by the actual house that has them in the yard, if I was next door to that person, you can't get away from that noise. And everything I read said that it was for commercial, not for like a hobby or pets or.
All right, so on this particular amendment, I would just argue that we strike excluding roosters because, Carol, as I read the bylaw, if you have a property that is less than 5 acres, then you don't really qualify for the exclusion.
Okay.
5 acres or 2 acres or more if the sale of products produced from the agriculture. So I would just argue that we kick this back to the building commissioner, deleting the excluding rooster commentary, unless he wants to explain it. Does that make sense, Beth? You're muted, Beth.
I think the whole plan was for the building commissioner to give his suggestions, which he did. And at that point, I thought that the planning board was going to go ahead and do the research and just decide how the planning board would like to word it. And I don't necessarily think it has to go back to the building commissioner at this point. I think he made his suggestions and recommendations. That's just the way I looked at it. I mean,
well, I guess with all due respect to the building commissioner, I would like to know why he said excluding roosters.
Because I believe in one of the prior documents that I read that he got a lot of noise complaints about roosters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if you're in a small residential area, it can be quite annoying. And I believe there was some document, maybe from the Board of Health, about attracting, or something I read about attracting rodents or something when people in small residential areas were attracting rats, and there was a problem in was it Arlington or I don't know, some town. So when you're talking small little lots.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think that a rooster or a hen would make any difference on the sex of the bird in terms of mice.
No, but he was speaking to the noise, specifically to the noise complaints that he receives. Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, he informed us that if the property is deemed agriculture, then you could not limit roosters.
Right.
That's why I don't understand this change.
Hey Lance, what I'm thinking when I read this, especially I've raised chickens and everything like that too, and I've been in small areas and whatnot. Depends on the breed of the rooster, the chicken, really, depending on how loud they're gonna be. I've had small ones, I've had big ones. Some of them are obnoxious and I got rid of them. But I don't know if this is gonna be an issue further down the road. I think adding the words excluding roosters, I think to your point, what you're saying is with the agricultural, I think these are going to be two different sets. Excluding roosters would be for residential, where people are keeping a small flock in their backyard for egg production, pets, things like that, compared to someone that's doing it agriculturally and selling the eggs and everything like that. I will say this, that if this does go further, where the town's gonna have to vote or anything like that, there probably will be a little backlash because having a rooster there does have chickens produce eggs faster. So that could be a little pushback that you might get on that. I would like to know why it is. I have to agree with Beth and Carol that it has to do with probably the noise complaints. But then again, we can't just make. I personally think I don't think we can just keep making bylaws and bylaws and bylaws that because we get a couple noise complaints. Okay, so now a couple bad eggs ruin it for everyone. Or a couple people that don't like it, create a rule for everyone. So it might be their right to, not listening to that noise, but it's also someone's right to own, I feel a rooster if they want one.
Okay, so do you want, I think that the more that we talk about this, I think it's the building commissioner's recommendation to ban roosters in non-agricultural deemed properties. You want me to take an action item to verify this with the building commissioner and we can discuss it at our next meeting?
Yeah, I'd say let's get some clarification from him if that's what his recommendation is and his reasoning why. Maybe get the noise complaints or anything else like that have been made in the last year. So if there's any tracking or anything like that in the last year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, to see how many complaints that he has been receiving. So we can, well, when we do create this, there's some kind of justification or something, because we could have one person that's been complaining about one neighbor, and they're all 100 complaints that he's received in 1 year.
Okay.
I think that would be the better way to go, because I do know people that get in these disputes constantly, and the only way to do it is they just keep complaining.
Okay, I'll take the action item to,
Okay.
Stan has no audio.
I'll email him
All right. He always has this problem.
yeah, I can email him the phone number. It's on the agenda, so.
Yeah. Okay, so while we're waiting for Stan to figure out his problem, let's jump to 3.4, safe routes to school. Carol.
I haven't really done anything. I've been trying to get Rachel. I guess we just haven't been able to connect because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to be like running bike-a-thons or something? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to. I've been going to the meetings. I have one coming up this week. But other than that, I'm not really. That's why I've been trying to meet with Rachel to get an idea of what's.
Okay, I think that we're just looking for at the planning board level an update from you.
I don't really have any updates.
Okay, all right.
I know I have a meeting. I have a meeting this week with the Safe Routes to School.
Okay, so you'll have something to update us with at our next planning board meeting.
I should from this meeting. Yes.
Yeah, and also if you end up doing a bike-a-thon, you can report upon that. All right, zoning board of appeals referrals, 8th Jeff Street and 2233 Main Street. Beth.
Am I muted?
Yeah.
I'm trying to help Mr. Therian get connected as well. But you can go into those folders if you want and pull up the applications or have a discussion on the applications. Does anybody have any questions or?
We discussed it before. If my understanding is 233 Main Street is that the property that's extending a deck and it's going to be like a foot from the property line?
No, 233 Main Street is a proposal to build an addition for a compounding pharmacy. Okay. It'll be added on to McNabb Pharmacy, and the complete application with drawings and all the details were in your subfolders.
Okay, and so you're looking for anything, a mandatory referral from the planning board?
Correct, on the project.
Oh, okay.
Did you all review the application?
I haven't had a chance to review the application, Beth. I'm sorry. I've had a very difficult time falling back and.
Okay. Well, that public hearing is not until December 8th. However, 8 Jeff Street, which is the other referral, the public hearing for that is the 17th of November, which is before your next meeting. So
Okay,
if
and
you
so
could
give us
review
An update on what's happening at 8 Jeff Street?
8 Jeff Street, it's
Yeah.
very complicated. Can you open the applications? It's a enforcement letter. It's an appeal of the building commissioner's enforcement letter to cease and desist at 8 Jeff Street because the use is not considered a viable use, but you really should review the application. It's probably 10 pages. Can you do that?
Yeah, hey Beth, just quick question for you. I'm
Yep.
trying to open it. Which folder is it under?
It is
For the
in,
planning board?
well, it should be at, if you look under work session right now, we're in work session 3.5, and it should be in Zoning Board of Appeals referrals. And then you should see a subfolder called 8 Jeff's Street. And that's a Zoning Board of Appeals referral.
Thanks. I just found it. I knew I saw it earlier. I just couldn't remember which folder it was in.
Okay, great. So if you you can skim it, but you can get an idea from the legal notice of public hearing what's happening at the hearing. However, if you didn't review the application, which is quite lengthy, I'm not sure that you would comment. Without that information.
I just remember seeing it. I just wanted to have it in front of me while we were talking about it too.
Yeah, if you have time to go through it now, we could certainly hit the points.
So I looked at it and it's not on the SharePoint. It's empty again.
Yeah, you're having a hard time downloading, huh? Were you able to
Well,
see
you
it?
go there and there's nothing there. I see it 21 8 Jeff Street ZBA application.pdf. Modified yesterday at 12:52. File size is 0.
Okay. So does anyone else see it?
Yeah, I was able to get it.
I had to copy the link from the email into my browser and manually do it. That was the only way it wouldn't let me click on it.
I can pull it up if you guys want to.
Yeah, just pull it up as I can.
Okay.
And has Stan been able to establish anything?
So I can screen share this if you want.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I can remember how. Okay. Not sure what would be most helpful, as it is fairly
Probably the
lengthy.
letter for the building commissioner to
Okay.
the owner.
Okay, it's a good idea. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one because I read it briefly earlier and I'm rereading it right now, and it makes sense.
Okay. I could make that a little bigger. I don't know if this is helpful for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. Is that good? Or because that gives you the whole letter?
I can read it.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
Okay, I mean, I've gone through, Carol, you let me know when you've been through it.
I've read it and I've read his summary.
Okay, Julie,
Yeah, I'm all set.
Mike?
I read all of this. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sort of inclined to support the, for a mandatory referral, that we support the building commissioner's findings. Any discussion or any other comments?
Can I ask, I just want to make sure I do understand it. So is there two questions here? Like, one, could he continue to use it under a previous non-conforming, I'll call it a chain of people who used it that way? And if that doesn't work for him, he's asking, could it be a special permit?
So Julie,
Because it
if
seems
you-
like there's two things going on there.
Yeah, so I kind of thought the same thing until I read the permit to appeal, where he talks about, you know, when he bought it, he went to someone and asked, and they kind of broke down. If Beth can scroll up a little, you'll see it. I think what he's looking to do is to try to appeal the decision and get a special permit, because the previous owners did not have a non-conforming factor to their permits. There was a newspaper, a medical company, a civil engineering firm. None of them had this. It seems like the issue seems to be that the property has equipment on it. It's more like a construction yard than a clerical office.
Well, except Richard Hanks gave permission to the company just before him. I think it was Cam Engineering. They were allegedly making parts for aerospace, things for the military, according to this. So it was used as kind of a machine shop. And
Yeah.
I think that Eric disagreed with Richard's determination that was an appropriate use.
Yeah, I think the difference was when you read there was the I guess we really the way I say it is an eyesore, I guess, and it's trying to, the zoning bylaw basically states that it's trying to attract businesses for pedestrians and things like that, and this technically does fall under the downtown area, which I don't know if that's what he's trying to fight or if he's trying to fight the use. Those are the two I was going for, because I can see it falling within the downtown area.
And if I understand this, Mike, it basically says that the previous grant had expired and it was not renewed within the time period.
Correct.
Well, right. And Mr. Smart's arguing opposite of, he's saying that it was continued for a period of time after Mr. Pham passed away. And again, I think he's trying to make two arguments. If one fails, he's going to go with the other one. I don't know. It seems more like a special permit situation to just ask for the permission.
I mean, are you happy, Julie, with the planning board recommendation that we support the building commissioner's opinion?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to that effect from someone?
I'll make a motion to support the building inspector's determination that 8 Jeff Street, how do we say it? The permit denial?
Or why don't we just call it the building commissioner's findings?
Okay, the building commissioner's findings.
Do I have
Make a motion to
second?
accept. Yeah.
Mike or Carol, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
And vote. Carol, how do you vote?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Mike?
Mike Verosco, yes.
Lance? Yeah. So is that good for you, Beth?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Perfect.
Okay, and Stan Miller, do you have audio?
I sent him an email so that he could potentially call in.
I'm here now. I had lost internet connection if you're talking to me, so I apologize, but I'm here.
Okay, great. So it's 6:56. So with that, I would like to reconvene the public hearing for Country Estate.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to have to bow out here. Lance, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you for joining, Chaz.
Yep.
Have fun at the Water Commissioners meeting.
I will.
All right, so Beth, do you want to stop sharing?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay, so so Stan, so do you have anything in terms of Country Estates?
We've asked for the board to vote let us withdraw our application without prejudice. The recent letter from the building inspector saying that the whole site will need stormwater management permit took them for a little bit of a loop, and they need some time to figure out exactly how they're going to tackle that. And that may take a little while. And they're not going to pave. They were trying to pave this fall, and then there's not enough time for that. So rather than extend it out indefinitely, we'd rather withdraw it and then resubmit in the future.
Okay, so with that, can I have a motion, Carol, to close the public hearing for Country Estates without prejudice? Yes, Beth.
I think the board would need to vote to accept the letter of withdrawal would be a good way to vote it. So
Oh,
you would-
okay.
Without
Can
prejudice.
I have a motion to accept the letter of withdrawal without prejudice for Country Estates?
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the letter of withdrawal for Country Estates without prejudice.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Carol, how do you vote?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And Lance is yes, and so Mike recused himself, so I don't think it's necessary to invoke the rule of necessity to bring Mike in on this. With
I
that,
agree with that, Lance.
pardon?
I said I'd agree with that.
Good. With that, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on Country Estates.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Carol, how do you vote?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And Lance, yes. All right, with that, then let's move on to the A&R. So I don't know, Beth, do you want to sort of screen share it?
Yep.
And with that, maybe Stan, you can sort of go just a quick overview for the board on the A&R.
Sure. Once it's up on the screen,
Okay. I see Beth looking at putting it up on the screen.
she has the same look that I had the last 10 minutes.
No, Beth looks nice.
Oh, I wasn't inferring that.
All right, let's go here. Yep. Okay. Oh, sorry. I can't get to it. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
So this property involves 3 landowners. The Mr. Blaisdell bought what's shown on our plan is lot 1, 2, and 3, which had a different configuration. They were kind of jacked up all over the place. The lines were all ziggity-zaggy, and I assume that may have been at one time for house locations or septics or something, but they've bought all 3 and reconfiguring those 3 lots into more regular shapes. And they're actually going to occupy all 3 lots at the time for the time being, but they wanted to protect their interest and still have 3 lots there. But give more room to the house and a couple of the barns there because they're going to have their horses there. So that's just a reconfiguration of 3 existing lots. Lots 4 and 5 are what's finally left over of Grandview Farm. Lot 5 will stay with the existing house. Lot 4 is going to be for Mr. Chaplin's sister to build a house. In the process of doing this, we discovered that one of those original 3 A&R lots didn't meet the lot width requirement. So we've created parcel A to rectify that insufficiency. And then in the process of doing the survey, we discovered that that shed way down at the south end of the property on lot 1 was only a couple of feet off the lot line. So Kevin Smith has kindly agreed to do a swap of parcel B and parcel C to rectify that. So it's kind of complicated, but maybe not as complicated as it looks on first looking at it.
And Beth, are taxes paid to date on all these lots and parcels?
Checked a while ago, and I don't think that, I think there were outstanding taxes on something. Stan, do you recall what I sent you?
I don't believe there is any outstanding taxes owed.
Okay. I don't think there's anything that we could do about that anyway in terms of an A&R. It can in a subdivision or in a.
In the past, we've denied them when there's taxes due.
Okay, I can look in my email then. I can look at that.
Well, no,
So
I take Stan's word for it if he says that he doesn't believe that there's any taxes due.
I didn't check today, or obviously, but I don't believe there are. I know that the Blaisdells just bought that property less than a month ago, so there can't be any outstanding taxes on that piece.
Okay.
They would have had to have their taxes paid for that. And I know that Grandview Farm within the last maybe 6 months or so, chopped off another piece of land that they gave to Kevin Smith, so they wouldn't have had any outstanding taxes at that time. So I don't believe there's any outstanding taxes owed.
All right, and I assume, Beth, that you and Eric have gone through this with a fine-tooth comb?
Yes. Sorry, yes, we have.
Okay. Are there any questions from any board members on this A&R?
Just one quick question. So parcel A goes with lot 3, right?
It will be conveyed to lot 3 to make that a conforming lot.
Yep.
The previous A&R, I don't know what
What happened? Yeah.
they missed something there. Yeah.
Okay, understood.
So I guess I have a question. So why wouldn't you, if that's what the plan is, Stan, label parcel A as part of lot 3?
Well, it's owned by a different person, so it will have to be conveyed from that parcel A is owned by Grandview Farm, so they'll have to actually convey that to lot 3.
Okay.
So
But
it's from a deed perspective, they'll have to create a deed to convey that parcel. I can't show it as part of lot 3 right now because they haven't conveyed it yet. They can't convey it until the plan is endorsed.
And is lot 3 a conforming lot?
Currently, I don't believe that it is.
And why is it not a conforming lot? Lack of frontage?
Lack of lot width at the setback.
And so how can we do an A&R on lot 3 if it's not a conforming lot? Wouldn't it be a parcel?
It wouldn't be able to obtain a building permit until they acquire parcel A. So it really wouldn't be a building lot at this point.
But then why would we label it a lot as opposed to a parcel?
I don't think it, I think it's some of that semantics. I don't think it really would make all that much difference. I mean, it was called a lot before. That's why I just called, there were lots 1 and 2 and 3 before. So I just used that same nomenclature and called them lots 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so lots 1, 2, and 3 are existing.
Right. Existing lots that we're just doing interior lot line changes on. The perimeter of what's lots 1, 2, and 3 doesn't change from the previously endorsed A&R plan.
All right. Any other questions? All right, with that, can I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the, by accepting the A&R.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Carol, how do you vote?
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
Mike,
Mike Verosco, yes.
and Lance McNally, yeah. Okay, thank you, Stan.
Thank you. Sorry for my computer issues. Thank
All
you.
right.
Good night.
Have
Oh,
a good-
and so, if I may, the
Yes,
board members will all have to come in and sign the plan right here on this line. If possible, prefer to do that if anyone could make it by tomorrow or at least by Wednesday to do so, we could have this for give this to Stan for recording.
All right, so you have the Mylars in your hands, Beth?
In the office, yes.
Okay,
Is it possible to get folks in by Wednesday at 4?
Carol, can you do that?
Yeah, I could come in tomorrow.
Great.
I can come in tomorrow.
Is it gonna be in the mailroom to sign or?
It'll be in land use office, so you could just let me know when you're coming and I'll be there.
Okay,
Okay, you good, Julie?
Yep, I can get in there tomorrow.
And Mike?
I should be able to get in there tomorrow earlier. If
Okay,
not,
I
it'll
can
be
make it in
the
tomorrow,
afternoon.
Beth.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, 4.5, Board of Health Public Hearing Notice.
That already took place. It's just, you're into correspondence? A lot of correspondence, you could just check the box, it doesn't necessarily have to be discussed, but
Well,
there,
I'm sorry, I totally jumped ahead here.
okay.
Let me back up. Let me go back to 3.6, which is what I meant to do. Townsend vulnerability update. Beth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, again, there hasn't been a meeting put together yet. But the Board of Selectmen, I emailed everybody about, we're collecting project ideas for the ARP funding. I don't know if I have that right, but there is some money that the town has received, and you all had an email. So there was some project ideas added to that regarding the MVP plan. So basically some ideas for, education and different projects related to that. So
Okay.
that's it for the update there.
Okay. All right. 4.1. So do we have Ian with us?
Yes.
Hi, Ian. A pleasure to
How you
meet you.
doing?
Hope we're not boring you. So can you think of first question is why would you like to be part of our great little planning board?
So first of all, I live on 39 South Street.
Okay.
I bought a house maybe 3-4 years ago. And one of the reasons that I want to be part of the planning board is because I do think that as being young and stuff like that and vibrant as I am, it will be it could be I guess helpful for me to understand, first of all, how the planning board goes, because I've been in the military for 10-11 years and I still work with the military on the side, and I've been part of many boards and many planning boards that had nothing to do with actually towns and whatnot, mostly wards and stuff like that. And I would love to get the experience of all of this and everything that encompasses this area, and also we be able to help in any way, shape, or form if I can in this area too. That's one of the reasons of why I want to be part of the planning board, if you guys let me. trying to push.
Okay, and what is your current profession?
So I am a counterintelligence and human analyst. So I'm just the friendly guy to the bad guys, kind of thing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
All
pretty
right.
much- that's-
So, Carol, do you have any questions for Ian?
What branch of the service did you work for?
Army. I still
Army.
work. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I worked with the Army for 10 years. I just got out a couple months ago, and I work as a contractor for the Army doing the same thing because they pay better. And, yeah.
Yes, contractors do pay better.
Yeah.
Julie, any questions for Ian?
Oh, I'm good.
All right, Mike.
I'm good.
Okay, Beth, do you have any questions for Ian?
No, thank you.
Okay, Mike, have you, can you do me a favor and can you, did you look at the last planning board meeting?
I looked at the email Beth sent, I believe, with the minutes, but I did not view it on YouTube or anything.
Beth, can you send Mike a YouTube link for our meeting?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that right now.
Mike, can I ask you to sort of look at the meeting, in particular where we had interviewed, was it Robert Turian, another applicant?
Yes, I can do that.
And then what I thought we would do, since we have never ever had this pleasure of having two applicants at the same time and have to make a decision, could everyone just send Beth an email message on their choice for the associate planning board member? I thought it would be better doing that than sort of voting in a public hearing and upsetting someone. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Send us a private email, don't copy anyone else on what your choice would be. And Mike, I think after you've had a chance to look at Robert's interview, then you can do that.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, and Ian, I really appreciate you taking the effort and the, volunteering for the planning board. Thank you.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Thank you so much. All right. All right. So I think Kim Craven's going to join us at 7:15. So I'm sort of holding off on 3.1 until she does. Mike, are you on your iPhone or do you have a computer?
I am on my phone right now.
Beth, do you mind going through the notices from Townsend and other towns?
Yes, I can do that. All right.
Does that upset you, Mike, or would you like to do that on your phone?
No, you'll save my eyes, so that's a good thing. I'm straight. I haven't opened, but it is very. It's not that many. Is what? There's only two.
Yeah, there's only two. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm going to, all right. Okay, so the first one is from the town of Lunenburg. The planning board, it's a notice of decision and it's on the application for a stormwater management permit. And it was granted by the planning board and filed with the town clerk. And there's a copy available in the planning board office. The second is from the town of Pepperell Planning Board. And that is a notice of public hearing. And that is for Monday, November 15th at 7:05 p.m. on an application for a special permit to allow the operation of a sawmill business. And the applicant is Anthony Beatty, and the subject property is 40-62 Oak Hill Street. And there's more information available on that from the town clerk.
Okay.
That's it.
Any questions on the notices? All right, 4.3, the Canal Street and West Elm and 119 study, and I will say in advance, I started to review it, and I mean, I just got lost in it. It was so detailed. Any comments on that from anyone?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I would just let you know that Jim Smith did review it, and he sent me a comment, and I've sent that on to MRPC. Mostly his comment had to do with the recent paving of Canal Street and the fog lines that I've put in there. I'm sure you've all noticed it's quite nice, but that was not in the analysis. So I think, now MRPC is aware. There is a tentative meeting coming up to discuss the plan with the Board of Selectmen on December 6th, and it's a morning meeting. So I'll send that out to the board as soon as that's finalized.
Okay, great. Any comments? Any other comments from anyone on the board? Carol, got anything?
I just mostly a question, because I did read the study, or these different studies. So at the end of it, I know they had like different options, to make this big round rotary or go this way or that way. So is it just, we just get the studies and then do we make a decision whether we go with the studies or do something different? Because I know they had like different roundabouts, and they had different lane changes and a whole bunch of stuff that they, ended up with. And I was just kind of curious, what do we do with the study after it's completed?
Well, that's a good question. And that will be part of the question that I think we'll all be asking at that meeting on December 6th. We'll be meeting with both the author and project lead. His name is George Snow from MRPC. He's also the transportation planner, as well as Brad Harris, who is the director of transportation planning. And they will, talk about the different options that are proposed and the different ideas that they came up with, but they'll also probably wander into next steps as to how the town could apply for different grants. I think you've heard us talk about the TIP program, Transportation Improvement Program.
Yep.
So this may be applicable because 119 is a state highway. So there may be funding available there. So at December 6th meeting, I'm glad you read the study and I appreciate your comments too. But yeah, that I think would be great to kind of come to that meeting and, and get that information.
You said that's in the morning?
It will be, yeah. It's tentative, but it sounds like a 9:30 meeting.
Okay.
The board, it's a work session for the Board of Selectmen. So yeah, so it'll, I'll also be Jim Smith there will be there, Brad Harris and George Snow, and then joint planning Board of Selectmen meeting. So yeah.
No, I was just more curious about what we do with these studies when they're finalized.
Yep, that's right. Good
Beth,
question.
I also read it, not probably, I'm with Lance, it was just kind of all over the place and didn't know where to follow. My biggest question is, it is a state road. Are we gonna have any say as a planning board on what kind of happens there? Is the state just gonna kind of say, no, this is what we're doing?
Oh yeah, the town will definitely have a say in it. The intersection is a composed of Canal Street, West Elm, and Route 119. So that is something that, it's a very good question. I don't know exactly what will be the town's jurisdiction, but I do know that the town will be very much involved in the decision, the application process and have input in, in what they want to see there. So yeah.
So, hey, just to kind of bring up a hypothetical then. So like if this had been like a study 13 and 119, we really wouldn't have a lot to say then because it's all state, right?
Well, it's interesting that you should ask that. We did ask for that study under the same grant program, and it hasn't happened yet, but I am not 100% sure. Those are both, as you said, as you pointed out, state roads. So yeah, I'd have to get an idea, but I think the gist of it is just to give the town an idea of what are, the problems there currently, and traffic studies, and, give the town the data to work with. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure
So
how that
I
will.
believe Mike is correct, because both those are state-owned highways.
Mhm. Yeah.
Our flexibility is quite limited.
Mhm.
Unlike 119 and West Elm and Canal Street, I think just only 119 is a state road.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, Beth, walkability study.
Yeah, that did come in. So it is in your SharePoint folders. It's yeah, I don't know if the board had a chance to review it, or if you want to have a work session to review it, if you want to set up a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen to review it. It did get distributed to the Board of Selectmen and the Planning Board from MRPC. So I don't know how the board would like to proceed with that. Carol, if it ties in.
Do you know when it's on the selectmen's agenda?
I don't. I can find out though. So
Yeah, because I think it probably would make sense that people review it and then just will participate in the selectmen's meeting.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. All right. 4.5 Townsend Board of Health public hearing notice, Three-Wheeler Road. So that public hearing already occurred. It occurred last Friday. And so that public hearing was to allow a slaughterhouse on Three-Wheeler Road. And there was conditions that were put upon it by the Board of Health. But it's sort of like a done deal is probably the best way to say it. We really didn't have a chance as a planning board to meet prior to the public hearing. So, so there's no comments from the planning board. 4.6, you all got correspondence from Gary Shepard with regards to the Three-Wheeler Road project. It was just a plain misunderstanding, and so I had talked to Gary and basically explained him to that. So unless there's any particular comments on it, I think it's a done deal. 4.7 site visit for stormwater, North Campbell Road. Beth?
Oh yeah. So just a quick update. I did put a quick update in your file, and if I could pull it up here. Okay. Basically, in your subfolders, I put the stormwater management permits, a list of active major stormwater permits that the planning board is the stormwater authority for. And, during COVID, a lot of these were just kind of sidelined, and there wasn't really any staff in land use. So a lot of them we were permitting, but we weren't doing any site inspections or any follow-up actively. Since we have Jessica and now we have Matt who joined us today. So land use is getting busy, and we got a lot of support now. We have managed, Jessica and I have managed to go through some of the active stormwater permits. And so on the list, as most of you know, is the 22 West Meadow Road, the solar array. And again, my comment is basically we're finalizing the certificate of compliance, and the only outstanding recurring event there with regards to stormwater will be an annual inspection report that'll come in. The Campbell Farm OSPD subdivision on North End Road. There was another site visit during the storm event on October 27th. And just an update there, Townsend Hill Realty Trust has submitted their application for their stormwater management permit renewal well ahead of time. So that's really going well, and working with them on compliance and keeping everything everything within the files, updated in the files. Three-Wheeler Road, this, again, a site visit on November 2nd. And basically my notes are, the permittee has been working with the planning board, me basically, to update the files and provide any information that might not have been included after the permit was issued, because I think you all remember it was renewed. Maybe you don't all remember, but it was renewed last summer. So we're working on that, and everything looks good.
Okay, any questions from anyone? All right, so then I think the only item that we have left to consider would be 3.1 Master Plan Committee. Is that correct, Beth?
3.1. Yeah.
Okay, so
3 and 2.
so currently right now, Kim just distributed and Beth sent it out to everyone, an update for the master plan that was reviewed by MRPC.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two comments. So first of all, Beth, I would like to schedule a work session sometime this week where that we could, after everyone's had a chance to review the document, get together and as a board provide consolidated comments.
Okay.
So if you could sort of poll all of the members via email or, something to find out a time that we can meet. I think that's the most efficient way to get this thing done. Second,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, go ahead, Beth.
Is this week a must? I think that one of the board members is having surgery tomorrow. So, I mean, may not want to participate.
No, this week is not a must, but
okay.
And then the other thing that I would propose, and I'll open this up for discussion, we need to put this on the done pile. And I think the best way to put this on the done pile is after we, Kim Craven is here. All right. Hi, Kim. Are you there? We'll wait for Kim to.
There she is.
Hi, Kim. We'll wait for Kim to connect.
7:28.
Hey, Beth, will you be there by 9 tomorrow?
Yes, and I can come in earlier, Julie, if you need me to.
Nope, 9's fine. I just, if I drop my kid off, then I can swing by and sign that.
Yeah,
plan.
no problem. And Mike, you too. If you need me to be there earlier, I can be there earlier.
I just have a meeting at 8:30 that I just remembered about, so I'm gonna head over there right after that meeting.
Okay.
I should be there probably about 9 o'clock too.
All right, Kim, are you connected by audio? I think Kim and Stan have the same internet provider. Yeah, we can see your lips move, Kim, but
It's work. Come on. There she is.
yeah, I can see her. Okay, you're muted now, Kim, I think. Okay, hi, Kim, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so we had just jumped to 3.1. So thank you for the updated master plan document. And my
You're welcome.
is that this is a document that MRPC reviewed.
They did.
And so I've asked Beth to sort of schedule a work session for the planning board where we have an opportunity to just meet and provide comments back on that.
Okay. Yeah, so that was what we had asked on the 26th of October to get scheduled for tonight. But I guess that didn't happen.
Well, we didn't have the document until 3:30.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way, Kim. I'm working, so I can't, review something before tonight's meeting for all of the board members on such short notice.
Okay, I thought we were going to work through it during the meeting. So you're gonna look at it outside of the meeting and then come back.
Yeah, that's the more efficient way to do it rather been trying to do that. And so I've asked Beth to actually go ahead and schedule a work session for us to do that so that we can provide back a marked up copy to you.
Okay, that's fine. So let me know when that is, and hopefully, either I or someone else can be on that meeting.
Okay, and then since we want to finalize this, if there's any follow-up actions, I've asked each board member to sort of pick a chapter that they want to champion.
Okay,
We can have someone dedicated from the planning board per chapter to work with the master plan committee to resolve anything
okay,
that needs to be resolved.
okay, that's good. And then I did write in a note to Beth. So the water chapter has changed fairly substantially
Okay,
from the one that you got after the October 26th meeting. That's really just the sort of cleanup things that had been given back to us from MRPC, some questions and things. So the other chapters shouldn't be too substantive for the changes. So
Okay.
hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for the review, but definitely call your attention to the water chapter because there were some significant changes there.
okay, all right, I appreciate that. All right, so that's sort
Okay.
of what the go forward plan is. We may not be able to get comments back to you until next week because we have one member that's undergoing surgery right now.
Oh, okay. I hope everything goes smoothly.
So do I.
But yeah, just keep me posted. And then Beth, if we just gotta move our meeting date, we can do that. But for whenever it is that you're going to review this, like I said, someone wanted to be available. As you're going through it as the board, if you had questions or anything that we could clean up right then, obviously would be happy to do that.
Yeah, and our plan would be to give you back a marked up single copy with all the planning board comments on it.
Okay,
Okay,
that sounds wonderful.
any questions from anyone else on the board? Okay, I think we've gone. Yes, Kim.
I just wanted just to make sure that what I had written made sense to you all about, right now the maps are fuzzy just for portability,
Yes.
but that once okay, great. So we'll put in the, the high res maps then, and then we can break it up into chapters. But once it's all done, I'll bring it to Beth on a thumb drive because it will be just too big to email.
Okay.
Might I suggest Monday night, the 15th?
That's fine with me. Can you make Monday night work, Julie?
Yes.
Mike?
Should be able to.
All right, Lance can and Carol. Carol, can
Oh,
you?
I was just looking at my calendar. Yeah, Monday night should be okay.
All right. Is it possible to start like at 6 as opposed to 6:30?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can go
Okay.
earlier. You can go 5 o'clock. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
You want to go earlier, Julie?
I always want to go early.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, why don't you send out the email? I would like to do
Okay.
it earlier as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, me too. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Great.
not opposed to that.
Excellent. All right.
Okay.
So Lance, let me ask you this, as maybe an option, and maybe nobody likes it, but I'd like to throw it out there anyhow. Would it be possible to meet Friday at 8:30 in the morning with the master plan committee?
I don't work Fridays, so.
Oh.
You guys.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can.
No, I just thought I'd throw it out there because we were scheduled to meet that day, but if it doesn't work for you all, that's okay.
I just assume keep that early evening as opposed to in the morning. I do know that there has been, in some instances, open meeting law violations formed with 8:30 meetings. Just because people that
What
work.
do you mean?
Hey.
I didn't know. I didn't hear what you meant. So for 8:30 because people work?
Yeah,
Is that what you said?
yeah.
Because we've been meeting at 8:30 because that's when it actually works for us.
I'm just saying
But-
that I know another board has had an open meeting law violation put on them for 8:30 meetings or for morning meetings,
Okay,
just so you're aware.
okay, thanks, I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
But, all right, so I will let the master plan committee folks know. I know next Monday, it is packing day for the food pantry.
Okay,
So I'll see, I'll see if I can join for at least a little bit, but
Okay.
we had that pre-planned. So I'll see if another member can join.
okay, thank you, Kim. All right, any other
Okay.
questions? Anyone have anything to bring up before we adjourn? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I'll
Julie?
second.
All right, Carol, how do you vote?
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
Mike,
Mike Verosco, yes.
and Lance McNally, yes. Okay, thank you, everyone. And once again, Ian, thank you for taking the opportunity to meet with us, all right?
It's a pleasure.
Okay,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Mm.